this is kind of the astrological wheel. This is the zodiac. And I want to point out a couple of things about it. First of all, astrology is a study of relationships, not necessarily our relationships with other people, although compatibility and relationship astrology is a really big aspect of astrology, but relationships with aspects of ourselves. So we can see here that this is one big circle. And the way that the zodiac is structured goes, it's basically, in the ancient mind, we have to kind of get into the ancient mind to understand the way that they came up with these symbols, the way that they found the constellations, and so they were really using as reference points things in their environment. And the entire zodiac wheel tells the story from Aries is the first sign, and that goes all the way to Pisces. This tells the story of life, going from the first house right here, going from Aries, which is the first sign. So the sign of the self, the sign of coming into a body, incarnating into this world, taking risks, being vulnerable, and charging forth. You can see this, the symbol is the ram. I wanted to just back up and give us all, a kind of paint with broad brushstrokes the overlying meaning of the zodiac wheel. And then we go to Taurus. So we're in a body, we've made a new beginning. What do? Well, we ground in, we prioritize, we see what kinds of resources we have. We, develop a sense of self-worth. So if Aries is the self and the first thing is the self, then we get a sense of self-worth. And then it moves forward from there. Looking at Gemini, Gemini takes the concept of our early childhood experience, learning, education, siblings, community, and grounding in, developing those relationships with our home, our family, connecting with ancestors, understanding who we are at our roots. And then from that point, so the first three signs of the zodiac right here are really about personal development. Then we move to the next three signs of the zodiac, and these take the idea of personal development, personal growth, and they kind of bring that out into the world. So Leo being how we express ourselves, being playfulness, being enjoyment, and also being self-expression. So a lot of our creative urges, the ancients identified that as something that was really integral to the process of personal development. And then Virgo. So Virgo, when we come to Virgo, we take a step back and we look at how we're taking care of our health. What is our everyday routine? With all of these aspects of our lives, how are we structuring our contribution, our giving back, our service? And then we go to the relationship. These deal more with personal relationships. So Libra being the relationship sign, being about partnership, and to the ancients, it was very much of a contractual thing. So marriage was, you married for status, you married for opportunity, marriage was a legal concept. And so that factors into the seventh house as well. And then we move to Scorpio, and Scorpio is how do we merge with other people? And so you can see how one sign builds on the next sign. Sagittarius being travel. So once we've grounded and we've established ourselves in our family, in our community, in our relationships, then we can start looking outward. And when we're looking outward, we're looking at the public aspect of our lives. And that's really what these signs focus on. They focus on, from Sagittarius to Pisces, there's a real emphasis on, or Sagittarius to Aquarius, I should say, there's a real emphasis on the way that we express our talents, that we share our gifts, that we make a contribution with the world. So we're moving from the personal to the collective, to the communal. And when we're talking about communal with these upper signs, we're talking about community within systems. And so that's where things evolve into. And then Pisces is a representation of closing things down. It's a representation of endings. We can look at Pisces as, more of going into more of a spiritual than a material aspect of life. And so we have every single aspect of life represented by one of the signs. And we can see within the zodiac the whole story of what it means to be here on earth in a body in our lives.